So today I'm going to be doing a leak down test for my 2020 Skidoo MXZ Sport carb sled. I ran into an issue where the antifreeze was turning brown, so I assumed that there must have been something wrong with one of the seals or the mechanical seal on the bottom end of the motor. So I replaced all that stuff and everything is back together. Okay, so first of all, I bought this leak down tester. Well, excuse me, I bought the gauge from Napa. It was about 35 bucks. It's just a low pressure system, and put it together myself. I can talk about that a little bit later. But so what the manual states, I just got this little pump, just had it sitting around. Doesn't matter which pump you use, but so the manual states that it needs to hold 5 pounds of pressure for 3 minutes. So if you have any issues while you're doing your leak down test where you're holding the 5 pounds of pressure, you might want to check that this is not leaking, this is not leaking, or your T-fittings. You know, just make sure that nothing else is leaking before you just assume that the bottom end of the motor is bad. But anyways, here we go. Here's the gauge. Pump it up. 5 psi. Alrighty. I'm going to start my timer. For 3 minutes. So we're at about 1.5 minutes, and the gauge is still at basically 5. So here we are at 3 minutes, and has it dropped? Sure, but such a small amount, I don't think that that's going to matter. Okay, so the tools that I made, I just got it from the local hardware store, but this was originally built along with the gauge and everything that I got from Napa, was built to do the top end leak down test. So all I had to do was buy this end, this 2-inch end cap, and put it on here, and this T-fitting, and this is the fitting where the oil injection goes into that cavity. So I just got a T-fitting. So one would go to here, and one would go to the gauge, and one to there. There's not really too much on the bottom end of the motor that to hook up to. So this is just a PVC part that I put together, again, through the hardware store. It just hooks up to here, like that one is. I'll be doing a top end leak down test pretty soon here, but I bought that. Let's see, on this side, on the Y point, I just bought this 2x2 fitting, and whenever I do the top end leak down test, this just hooks up onto here with a hose clamp. Now the hose clamps I did purchase. I purchased them at the hardware store because the ones that come with, you know, it's just, I don't know. You can't screw it very tight, where these I could get way tighter, and I felt like it could seal better. So it's kind of nice that if you put these tools together, you can do the top end or the bottom end and do the leak down test. This is just a valve stem. I did end up having to seal it internally. There was like a fitting. I had to drill a hole in here. One of these fittings came with the vacuum gauge that I got from Napa, so I just drilled a hole and sealed it up, and as you can see, there's still RTV there, or excuse me, I had to add RTV because when you're doing a leak down test, you got to make sure your own stuff doesn't leak. So pretty simple to put this together and do a leak down test. It's kind of handy to do the top end and the bottom end.